It's normal to feel a little stressed about earthquakes and hurricanes.
That it is. One way to relieve that stress, though, is to make sure you're prepared for whatever may come your way. Sam Kille of the American Red Cross is here to help us do that this morning. Nice to have you with us.
Thanks for having me.
Sam,
especially because you've been clearing up some of our questions in the break. We're learning we should not evacuate a building during an earthquake.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that, because that's what the entire city of New York did, at least, and a lot of people in Washington, too. You hear this earthquake, you feel this earthquake, and everybody goes to the streets. You say that's not the thing to do.
No, we're not Californians here, so we're not used to this, but what you're supposed to do if you're indoors while the building is shaking is drop, cover, and hold. Find a sturdy table or a desk to go underneath, hold on to the legs of it, and wait until the shaking stops. And once that shaking is stopped, then examine, see if it's safe to leave the building itself. And of course, you don't want to use the elevators, you want to use the stairs.
Right.
It's really, and be calm. That's the biggest thing. Don't panic.
Yeah, the most difficult, but the most important. We also want to talk about the importance of having a preparedness kit. Now, every now and then this comes up again in the news. Obviously, it's good to have on hand to do it when you're not in the middle of a disaster, so that when an earthquake may strike, you're ready. So what do you put in this disaster kit that you have? Well,
a disaster kit's easy to put together. You can take a backpack. You can, the Red Cross sells these to start out, but basically you want to have supplies on hand that in case you have to leave your house in a hurry. And the type of items you want to have, obviously you want to have water. You want to have hygiene items.
Packets of water.
Yep. Okay. Hygiene items. One of the most important things that we suggest is that you have a radio that's a hand crank. We all use MP3s and everything else now. A lot of people don't have radios anymore. With batteries, or you can actually buy ones now that have cranks or they're solar powered and have built-in flashlights so that you can keep up with what's happening.
I just got one of those actually when we went to Africa, and you can hand crank it and it'll charge things for you as well. So
exactly, you can charge your cell phone.
There's no power.
How much, when we're talking about water here and some of the essentials that you need, how much should you actually have in the bag? Are we talking about a day's worth, 2 days worth?
Well, in your kit, you should plan on being, prepared for something for 3 days. Like with Hurricane Irene. Everyone on the East Coast should be having supplies at home right now to last for at least 3 days. And a rule of thumb with that is a gallon of water per person per day, maybe more depending on medical needs. And of course, you want to have non-perishable food. Utilities go out. You want to make sure you have food that you don't have to cook. Canned food, can opener.
Exactly.
It might not taste good to eat the SpaghettiOs cold, but it's
on day 3, they taste pretty great.
It's better than nothing. And also, real quick, just a plan, especially now with what they could potentially have to face here on the East Coast. Have a plan. God forbid
you need to know what your local emergency managers, what their evacuation plan may be, what the evacuation route will be, where would the shelter be if you do have to leave. Think about having a friend's house that you can stay at. Obviously, the Red Cross, we're going to provide a safe place, but it's going to be a cotton blanket with few hundred of your closest friends. So if you have a friend you can go to, that's always a great thing.
Go to Raggy's, he's got a guest room.
Exactly, plenty of room.
Sam,
thanks so
very
much.
much.